Hey, Rob here from Expat 2.0. I wanted to talk a little bit about today about people's attitudes when they go overseas or they go to another country. Now, a lot of us, we start off here in America. A lot of men are either overlooked, they're undervalued, or they don't give themselves a chance to be valued. And I'm using those terms loosely. There's a lot of issues with men these days, and one is we've become weak. We've lost masculinity, and what little we did have of it tends to end up being considered toxic, and people just taking you and casting you off into, oh, you're this type of person. It's not really anything that have built us up to make us feel valued. I think valued would be the best term to use. So, as we get involved in relationships, we have relationship failures. We are a summation of our experiences, and since they have not been good, we have a lot of negativity, a lot of baggage. And when we are afforded a chance to move abroad, now, do a lot of us look at this as, okay, look, this is a new chance, a new start? But once you get there, you tend to hold on to those same type of things that made life pretty negative for you back into the States. And you feel like now that your money goes a lot farther than it would here in the US. That you are now rich. You act rich. You have this pompous sense of that you're better than somebody. I don't know. Maybe it's because we never had that chance before, and we tend to overindulge, or we look at ourselves as being superior because, well, I'm from America. This is a developing country, and the people there are more primitive, and they don't understand it. It's my job to teach them. Or you go into looking at things like, well, I have my freedom of speech. I have all these rights that you had in America. But you've now moved to a new country, different culture, different set of values, where maybe you became argumentative and loud and boisterous here in America, resentful, picked fights with other people. You can't do that abroad. I mean, everybody says, well, you know what? You're a guest there. Well, you're not even a guest because nobody invited you. Honestly, you are a refugee. You are no different than the people that have tried coming into America. So don't get yourself bent on this, but that's the honest to God's truth. So there's a right way of doing it and a wrong way. The right way is to be not just a model human being, but somebody that doesn't stand out. Now, of course, you being a foreigner in anywhere, South America, Asia, if you open your mouth, probably in Eastern Europe, Western Europe, when you start talking, they'll figure it out. You don't want to stand out. You want to blend in as much as possible, because you don't need trouble, and trouble will find you. Even if you're not looking for it, you got to remember, just as a lot of Americans view immigrants, it's not half as bad as how 3/4 of that country is probably going to view you. Because unfortunately, there's been a lot of people that have left sour tastes in these people's mouths because they acted like an ass. You see it all the time. There's all sorts of things and stories and how people act. And even if you are not being malicious and negative, because it's a different culture, the way you do things could be considered offensive, though you would never consider it offensive. It's something that you really need to look at, and especially where you're going. You want to blend in. You don't want to stand out. You don't want to be singled out, because even if you have good intentions, there are people in other countries, they don't have good intentions. If you're over in another country and you are trying to live your life and live your best life, they might be in a different type of financial situation, and they're going to look at you as a cash cow. Now that means they're going to scam you. That you've heard of the skin tax, even to a point where if you're driving in a car and you are at a four-way cross section and you didn't move and somebody runs into you, it's your fault. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, no police officer, no government official is going to take your word over their natural born citizens. It's just the way it is. Now, I don't want this video to come off all negative, but I want people like us that are moving abroad currently or looking to move abroad, that you need to consider this. This is a very serious subject, and one that we need to not only address, but to make damn sure you minimize your exposure where it's going to bite you in the butt. So, as to how to do it, I don't really know. There's a lot of foreigners. You see a lot of YouTube videos. And the number one thing that I have against YouTube videos of people that are already there, they're promoting their life, that country, in the most positive light. It's like when you look at Facebook, it's not social media, it's interest media. Because they're only going to post the best parts. They're not going to post the bad parts. And what you're going to see, you're going to be like, oh, it's going to be great. And it will be really good. It really is. I have the utmost faith that with the right preparation, the right mindset, making sure you have your health, making sure your wealth, because you know what? There's nothing worse than a broke expat that has no money coming in, that's now living off charity of somebody else's country. Oh, dear Lord. You think the negativity is here for when they see somebody that comes over abroad and tries taking use of public assistance and charity. Oh, well, you know what? We, as Americans, are so much more tolerant for people's religions, people's immigration status, the color of their skin. A lot of other countries really aren't. And the more you travel, the more you'll realize that. Now, I'm not saying they're all bigots. I'm not saying they're all looking to get you. But you need to just follow through and keep your nose out of trouble. And just live your life. And if you are with a foreign woman, you know what? Always make sure you're pleasant and kind, especially to their family. And try not to stand out so much. All right, well, those are my random thoughts for today. If you like kind of my mindset and you agree with me, or even better yet, if you disagree with me wholeheartedly, comment down below. Because this is something we really should talk about a lot more than we do, because it's just not all sunshine, sandy beaches, and beautiful young women. All right. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.